Alright, so greetings from Yuba City, California. We just rolled up to the shipper here at Sunkissed. I believe Sunkissed. Dried fruit, stuff like that. And first thing we see is a Swift trailer T-boned by a Swift truck, docked. So it obviously was the, not the guy who was docked who did it, but turns out it was a trainee. I'm not sure if his mentor was asleep or what happened exactly, but they finally moved the truck, and the scrape is about over 20 feet long on the side of the trailer. So I don't know how you manage to hit something, not see it in your mirror that you're scraping it for, let alone 2 feet, but 20. So I'm sure that kid's having a hell of a day. I had my own little incident, but it did not involve hitting another vehicle. It definitely didn't involve hitting another Swiftie. So, oops. So anyway, I wanted to touch base on a few things I've forgotten, which were worth noting. Was first thing, when we had left Las Vegas from that last trip up to Idaho, we were actually bobtailing because about 3 miles from our shipper was a Swift drop yard, and they wanted us to take that empty there. So we did that. We were bobtailing, and then we saw this Mexican food place, and Brett needed a break, and I figured, hey, let's get a burrito or something. Turns out the Mexican food place was closed, but right as we're pulling in, a cop was behind us with the sirens on, and he pulled us over. And first thing that I thought was that Brett did not put his glad hands away properly, and that's why we were getting pulled over. Turns out it was just for a random inspection, which was cool. The officer was really nice. All was well, all the lights, everything was legal. The only thing was our insurance had expired on the 1st, and it was, I believe, the 21st at that point. So he looked it up, and it was valid, and he just told us next time we're at a truck stop or somewhere with a fax machine to get Swift to fax us that info, and we did. And so we know the truck is all good and legal as far as permits and registration and insurance and all that stuff. So that was interesting, the fact that I've never been pulled over in any way, shape, or form, knock on wood. I don't think I have any. But Brett got pulled over within his first week, so I thought that was pretty funny. Another interesting thing that kind of happened that people have been kind of commenting on was when I was doing backing practice with Brett at the Oklahoma City terminal as a joke, because again, I know Brett through doing YouTubes and Facebook. I didn't know him before any of this, but through my own networking, I met him, and it's kind of a buddy scenario. It's not like a random, complete stranger student. As a joke, in the dirt on his side, skirts of his trailer, I wrote "Rookie Trucker BTW" behind the wheel, and it was humorous at the terminal. He's doing backing practice. Other truckers are laughing, and I'll go out of my way to be funny. And people that have told me that was an asshole move, it's like, what? I'd rather be humorous and work hard, play hard, than be one of those trainers, which I've heard of, which are just complete, straight up assholes, and will throw their coffee cup at you if you put it in their cup holder, and I'm a little more light in my step with all that type of stuff, and so I just it was a joke, and we did take that trailer to the shipper in DuPont in Pryor, Oklahoma, and I believe that's where someone either saw it, either the company saw it, the shipper, or another Swiftie picking up the trailer saw it and called it in, and they saw who was the last person to have it. But we got our message from Swift just saying don't ride on the trailers, and that was it. People have been calling me an asshole for it, immature, whatever. Sure, okay, I'll take it. It was a joke. It was a joke. It was a harmless joke. We hauled the trailer before that said "oh shit" in axle grease on the side of it. No one said anything about that using a curse word, but because I'm, picking on my rookie. It's like, dude, you drive for Swift. You should be expected to be a rookie. Straight up. Everyone knows that. So I'm not calling the kettle black or anything, but it was just a joke, and it's over. And I'm sorry if people are offended, but it was a joke. Brett laughed it off. It was a joke. That's that. Another thing interesting worth mentioning. I forget where we were exactly. It was probably New Mexico or Arizona. I don't know. Texas. When we were rolling out to California. We had just thoroughly cleaned the windows, because with all that backing practice in Oklahoma City, Brett had his window down, of course, safety first. Any of the stuff that was already on the inside of the windows caked a little bit more with all the dirt being kicked up at the terminal. So we did a full, mirrors, inside, outside windows, all that stuff. And then once I started rolling, there was still a little bit of light refracting off the streaking, and so I ended up pulling over about 10 miles down the road to just kind of buff it out with my sweatshirt. And I pulled in this dirt lot. There's another truck there, and I clean it off, and then I decided I'm on my phone for like literally a minute, and it's completely dark. I'm in the middle of freaking nowhere. I know there's one other truck over there, but all of a sudden I hear tap, tap, tap. Freaks me the hell out. Some dude is on the side of my truck trying to get my attention. I have my headlights on. You could easily walk in front of my truck, wave me down, I'll know you're there. This guy freaked me the hell out. I thought it was the other truck driver, like he needed some help or something. So of course I rolled down my window, not all the way. I got a little bit up. Battery's low. Excuse me. Blah, blah, blah. So I got my window partially up, but he wraps his fingers over, and first thing he says is, "Hey man, my van broke down." And like, dude, I heard van, I heard broke down, I saw middle of nowhere, I saw you already freaked me out. I just said, "Dude, get the fuck out of here." And I rolled up my window, and his fingers just kind of slid off my window. And it was just, I felt a little bad for it, because maybe he really did need help. But dude, you don't freak me out, first of all, and then ask me to help you with your van in the middle of the dark, in the middle of nowhere. Who knows what the hell that was? Who knows? Could have been cargo theft. It could have been anything. It could have been nothing. But my point is, I used to have a van. I know the perceptions of vans. And you're out in the middle of nowhere. I'm not the guy to help you out. I'm a truck driver. I'm working. You can go ahead and ask someone that is just hanging out on their own personal time to help you. But so I kind of felt like an asshole, but I'm pretty sure I did the right thing. But yeah, it was kind of a funny moment. Another thing I forgot to mention, which is not that funny, but I'm going to say it anyway. When I picked up the shot glasses, and I told you I got a new Montana one because my old one was stupid. At first I thought I would just take my one I just bought in Montana and just shatter it on the ground, but I'm not really about vandalism, at least anymore. I was a punk when I was younger. Not too bad, but anyway, I just took it and put it back on the shelf. And I took the tag off, and so I figured someone will find it, and maybe they'll buy it and pay it forward. I don't know. I wanted to mention that. I probably shouldn't have. Blah, blah, blah. Super Bowl Sunday was freaking awesome. Had the whole day off. Got to hang out with my buddy Paul. Got to hang out with some other people. Phoenix is my new second home, I guess you'd say. And the game was awesome, and I predicted it, that the Seahawks would win. And as much as some people, like my brother, will say that it was a boring game, I think it's just as entertaining to see Peyton do horrible as it is for him to do well. Because I was rooting for the Seahawks, but I respect Peyton, so I was kind of course I was going for the Seahawks, but I figured it'd be interesting either way. And that with that first safety happening, it screwed up everyone's spread on pools with the point differential, and I thought it was a great Super Bowl. And go Seahawks! So other than that, rolling through California, because right now we were able to T-call that load going to Southern California. We got a load going to Oakland. So we still had to hit California, but we got some more miles out of it. And again, it's 55 in California, of course. I will never go over 60. But at one point, I caught myself going 61, and I see a cop on the other side of the road. Right as I pass him, he starts going, and I'm like, no way. And then, of course, he turns around, and he's coming up behind me, and I'm like, dude, I do not need this right now. But what do you know? He actually ended up turning off and hiding behind a bridge that I just passed. So he was not coming after me. He was looking to get someone going northbound. So that was a little bit of a cop scare. Another thing is I was able to see my brother and sister-in-law and niece Violet. They live in East Bay in Walnut Creek, California. So after we dropped off that load to Oakland, between where we're at now, Yuba City, we were able to stop at a Walmart, which can be tricky. Walmarts are great to park at, but they're tight. We had a tight ordeal in Wyoming, tight ordeal there. I ended up having to back it up and get out there and go in the right way. And so it's a little bittersweet. You can park there, but you got to be careful. So I was able to have dinner with my family and see my niece, which was awesome. And now we're up here. We stayed at a at a Pilot last night in Sacramento, like the only truck stop in the area. It was $12 to park, unless you got $75 worth of fuel. So I had Swift re-optimize our fuel, and we were able to get fuel out of there, and it's all good. So that's pretty much what's going on. My student's doing great. He just needs to make sure he's reading his signs because he's missing a few things, but overall everything's going well on the road so far.